Tomorrow is the deadline for 7 western states to come to some kind of agreement over the Colorado River.
These states have to agree on how to cut their water intake from a source that's drying out. Leanne Melendez here now with a look at how this is going to impact us here in Northern California.
Yeah, and this is such an important issue. And I'm afraid there will be, there are negotiations, but there will be no agreement. That's what I'm hearing. So one of the sticking points is that some of the states don't want to commit to mandatory conservation measures. They want to keep it voluntary. Now, many of you might be saying, what does the Colorado River over there have to do with us here in Northern California? And I'm here to tell you that we should all give a Hoover damn about this issue.
It may be somewhat of a cliche, but time is running out for 7 states that get water from the Colorado River.
Oh, it ran out a long time ago. I think we're at a disastrous point. I think history will judge us very poorly.
26 years of continuous drought have impacted the flow of the Colorado. And think of its reservoirs as savings accounts. They continue to be depleted. The Colorado provides water for close to 35 million people in the U.S., including 5 million acres of farmland. The river hasn't been able to keep up with the demand.
We use more every year on average than nature supplies.
7 states, California, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona take water from the Colorado. Representatives from those states recently met in the nation's capital to talk about conservation, an issue discussed so many times that people have lost track and perhaps hope that it will get resolved. Let's take a closer look at California and its relationship to the Colorado. Southern California takes about 1/3 of the Colorado River's total flow. That's the largest share among the 7 basin states. Between 70 and 80% of what Southern California takes from the Colorado goes to the agricultural needs of the Imperial Valley. That's crucial because 2/3 of the nation's vegetables during the winter months come from the Imperial Valley. The rest of California's share of the Colorado River goes to urban areas, homes, via the Metropolitan Water District. But when it comes to the pecking order, they have less of a water priority than the Imperial Valley, as dictated by an old water rights agreement. People in Southern California know how to deal with drought conditions.
Waves and waves of water conservation, both in terms of fixtures, but also in terms of letting lawns turn brown, transferring out lawns, which is a lot of urban water.
So what does all of that have to do with us here in Northern California? We don't get anything from the Colorado. But people in the know told me you can bet your bottom dollar that Southern California will look to us to meet their demand for water.
Northern California already supplies 30% of Southern California's water demands. Here's how it moves. The Sierra snowpack feeds the Feather River, which then collects at Lake Oroville. The dam there controls what is released into the Delta watershed. From there, the water goes to the Central Valley and Southern California through miles and miles of canals, tunnels, and pipelines.
In Northern California, we are just absolutely pulling for the folks on the Colorado River Basin to come together and find a solution to help water supply for all 7 basin states. But obviously the urban areas in Southern California need that water supply. And if they get that water supply, it then takes pressure off of Northern California. And so we're really pulling for them to come to agreement.
So I'm a very diversified farmer here in Northern California. We're looking at one of my wheat fields.
Farmers like Fritz Durst from Yolo County are also hoping for a resolution. He says in a drought year, if Southern California demands more water, he'll have to leave some of his land unplanted, like his rice fields, therefore giving up some of his water needs.
And I'll allow the water that I would normally take out of the Sacramento River to stay in the river, to flow through the Delta and get transferred down to Southern California.
While he gets compensated for not growing his crops, there are economic and ecological impacts to his actions.
There's the people who transport and mill the rice afterward. The effects go all the way to Sacramento because that's where my rice gets milled. So there's no habitat and there's no rice in the wintertime for the migrating birds to eat. So it affects birds, fish.
Durst has done that only 4 times in the past 40 years. He fears the effects of global warming will only make matters worse.
And if there is no agreement, some are concerned that the federal government will get more aggressive and intervene in a way that is not beneficial to those states. Now, today, Governor Newsom, as well as governors of Arizona and Nevada, said all 7 basin states must share in the responsibility of conservation.